Friday afternoon webinar. Thank you for joining us. My name is Victoria Vasquez, and I am a client relationship consultant, which means that I work closely with professors on a day-to-day, helping them answer questions and training and just making sure that everyone has exactly what they need in terms of knowledge to successfully implement the simulation in their course. So I'm happy to be here today talking with everyone. Our topic this afternoon is the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to review how you access some of the results of your industry. Before I do that, just a quick mention of a couple of things. No need to take notes. You could just listen. We record all of these webinars and then we post them on our website. So you can always go back and access something if you missed something or weren't able to quite catch or show up a little late. So no worries there. Also, we have a couple other sessions coming up in the next weeks that we'll talk about a few other topics. So be on the lookout for that and be sure to join us. And then last, while I'm kind of doing a general overview here, don't be afraid to ask questions. You can ask questions via your control panel, and we'll be happy to discuss some questions towards the end of the webinar. So anything you want to talk about generally in terms of results, happy to discuss that today. Also keep in mind that we do have support hours, support staff, and you have your own client relationship consultant that you can reach at any time. So be sure to just keep in touch with us whenever you have a question, whenever you need anything. That's what we're here for. So I'm going to show today then how you access some results, and I'm going to log into a capstone course. I'm in my professor account. I'm using Capstone because we generally use Capstone for these types of demonstrations, just to sort of keep the continuity of the content. But if you're using Foundation, there really is no difference. All the same material is going to be available to you. So last week I talked a little bit about processing rounds and how you move through the simulation in the simulated years. And so your next step after you do that, after you do process a round, is going to be how you look at results and how you assess how teams performed. The great thing about Capstone and Foundation is that you'll have plenty of tools to help you evaluate your students. And over time, a lot of professors will pick and choose which tools they find the most beneficial for what they're teaching for their course, and ultimately what speaks to students the best. So you'll have a lot of different options under industry scoring and industry results. In any case, in any event, whichever evaluation tool you do end up using and liking, what we always suggest is that you start first by reviewing the Capstone Courier, or if you're playing Foundation, the Foundation Fast Track. Those two are the news report, so to speak, of the round that just closed. It kind of tells you what's what and what happened in the previous year. So this is where you want to go to get your first glance of the round. So to access that, sorry, I'm kind of skipping ahead as I talk here. From my dashboard, I'm going to go to Industry Results and Reports, and I'm going to Capstone Courier. If you're playing Foundation, you'll find it in the same exact location. I'm going to open it up view here, and you can see that you can toggle between the pages. They're linked, and you can go back up to the top. It's one continuous report, but this makes it easy if you kind of want to jump around. So the first page that you're looking at here, Selected Financial Statistics, will give you a clear overview of how your teams performed. You can compare vital statistics like sales, profits, cumulative profits, contribution margin, all your ratios up here on top. So it's a very quick, easy way to see how your teams did. The other thing you can do is go onto your dashboard again and download the CAP Debrief. This will walk you through a lot of the results in a little bit more detail, and it's a little bit more helpful too also than just going to the Capstone Courier or the Foundation Fast Track. So I've downloaded the CAP Debrief on my computer, and I'm going to enable macros and connect to the website now. You'll have to enter your username and password. And I'm going to select the most recent industry. Give it a minute here. So the CAP Debrief will show you a lot of different reports that you can use when you're reviewing the results of the industry. You can also move back and forth between different industries, which is kind of nice if you have more than one industry that you are trying to assess. So let's see here. Full screen, last round results, start show, and you'll see various criteria that it'll walk you through and compare your teams for you. Market share, stock price, market cap. Lots of different options. Again, you can kind of jump around to different comparisons that you want to make. And sim results to date. So this will help you if you're keeping track round after round. This may not look all that different at this point since we've just processed the first round. And different scores based on success measures. You can print things off. And you have lots of other reports. This is the Courier or the Fast Track if you're doing Foundation annual report, and you can print things off again here too. So this is kind of a nice compact way to find not only the Courier or the Fast Track, but also a breakdown of various criteria. I think a lot of professors find this helpful. And again, that's the CAP Debrief, which can be accessed on your course dashboard. Okay, I'm going to back up to my course, so that can be accessed here. Just download it to your desktop. And you don't have to keep downloading it every time. You can just keep saving copies over each time you want to import results from the website. The other thing we wanted to talk about today too was industry scoring. And you have three options here: balanced scorecard, success measures, analysis, and scoring. I'm going to show you just the analysis and scoring, the analyst report. This is, for those of you who are a little bit more visual, maybe this gives you a visual representation of how your teams are doing based on several different criteria. You'll see the little pie charts and the fullness of the pie charts depending on how well they're performing. You can also generate a point analysis down here based on the different criteria, and again, you can look at different industries all at once. So a lot of these reports will allow you to, like I said, toggle back between different industries if you're in the mode of evaluation and grading. A lot of these reports are going to be easy for you to use in that sense. So, analyst report. The other reports you can find here in analysis and scoring is the round analysis, which is even simpler and also gives you some text information below that will tell you a little bit more about each of these criteria and how you get a star and how you don't get a star. So you could see in this example that Ferris gets all 5 stars. By the way, students, you can pick and choose what students will see, which is why I opened up this session with making sure that you understand that there are a lot of different tools you can use. Obviously, you don't want to use all of them. You want to kind of find what works best for you and what speaks to your students easier so that they understand what it is they're doing and what it is they can improve on. So this is just a summary of the round analysis that we just looked at. So that's the analyst report. You can also find success measures, which allow you to weight your teams based on what they are most interested in being measured in. So what it does is it takes 8 criteria, allows you to assign a team weighting. You can also make this a homework assignment and have your students decide for each of their teams what their weightings are going to be. Not all companies are equally interested in all 8 criteria. Some companies might be more interested in cumulative profits, whereas someone else might be interested in stock price. So that's where you can change the weights of each criteria. But regardless, the system will calculate a score so that you can compare apples to apples and how well they're doing in meeting their goals and their success measures. So that's a great tool, and like I said, it's a great tool if you want to get your students involved in it. And then finally, the balanced scorecard, which is very easy to use, very interactive. You can click on points, and you can get even more information on the different criteria that's being assessed. So all of these reports are easy for you to access under industry scoring, balanced scorecard, success measures, and the star summary, the analyst report with the pie charts under industry scoring. You also want to be looking at your capstone career or your foundation fast track under industry results. And from the dashboard, you can download the CAP debrief, which a lot of professors like to use if you like to use the Excel spreadsheet and like to compare not only the career but various other criteria. So those are the sort of main tools that we have available to you that you can use. We'll open it up to questions now, general questions. So I'll give you some time to send those out. By the way, if this all seems like it's a lot, it is a lot, but that's what you have your client relationship consultant for. All of your client relationship consultants are available to you. You can schedule time with them so that they can sit down and walk you through any of the evaluation tools we just reviewed. They are happy to also help you with debriefs when you're looking at the Capstone Career Foundation Fast Track. That's a report that is kind of one of those reports where the more you see it, the more you are familiar with it, the easier it is to read. So we're all very used to reading those and reviewing those with you however many times it takes for you to feel comfortable. Good question here is that what do you do when you have really bad results? The topic is good, the perfect topic, perfect question for a perfect topic. The good, the bad, the ugly. What do you do when you have bad results? There are a lot of things you can do. For starters, you can call us and we can discuss some of the options you might have for your team that's doing badly. The other thing that I would keep in mind is the sooner that you catch a bad result, the better. It gives you more to talk about and it gives you some areas where you can offer advice to the team and watch them turn it around. I know a lot of professors, in fact, don't grade on final, say analyst scoring numbers. They grade on improvement. So that's another thing to think about. The earlier, the better. And then finally, there are lots of different ways you can incentivize them or pull them out. There's a cash injection that you can do, which we talked about last week. When you process around, the cash injection will help them stay afloat. But then also remember that in the simulation we have what's called Big Al, and Big Al will come bail them out when they are not doing so well. It's an emergency loan, and sure, it doesn't look good for the round, but again, the earlier you find it, the more you have to talk about. You can diagnose why they received that loan and help them turn it around. So great question. We always see teams, and actually we kind of joke around here that we are in big trouble when we don't see teams that tank, because that gives us nothing to talk to you about. So Bad results are fine. Bad results are what we like to talk about most. So feel free to reach out to us for specific bad results. The next question is a good question. Do I need to debrief each round, or can I make students do this on their own? What I like to suggest, and this is just my personal style, I like to suggest that you debrief the first 4 or 5 rounds. They don't have to be consecutive rounds. They can be, the first 2 rounds of practice and the first 3 of competition, and you let them play the last 5 on their own without the debrief. But I like to show them, number one, how you understand either the Capstone Courier or the Foundation Fast Track. So I definitely like to get in the habit of showing students how to read that, and that's only going to happen if you do it and give them the example a few times. And then 2, if you're using one of our evaluation tools like the Balanced Scorecard or the Analyst Report, you want to show them at least a couple times where they can find it, how they can read it, because that's how they're going to be evaluated. So I think that's only fair. After that, if you want to let them do it on their own, that's also a great tactic to have them be a little bit more independent. But certainly I would definitely spend more time debriefing in the earlier rounds versus the later rounds. So that was a great question. And then like I mentioned, we're here to help you each step of the way. So this is just a brief overview on how you find reports that will help you evaluate and what kind of reports you want to use maybe together, give you an idea. If you want to continue discussing this and talking about it, I highly recommend that you give us a call at support or call your consultant directly. That's what we're here for. So I don't think I have any other questions coming in. If everyone, like I said, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. I'll show you how to get there, how to find our contact information. It's up at the top here on this top banner, but also you can find a little bit more detail on our contact page. I can scroll down here. So you want to get in touch with us here at our phone number, the 877 number, or directly 312. And you also want to contact support if it's simulation-related questions you're already using. And that's really it. You can find the recording of this webinar and all other past and future webinars under CAPSIM events and webinars and professor webinars. And that concludes today's webinar and the good, the bad, and the ugly. Thanks for joining.